as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day.
Thanks to having international friends, thanks to living in Marbella, we get to meet such a diverse selection of people that never met but live in this little tiny bubble that we call home. Johannes Schumacher is one of those people. Thanks to Anita Norgay, I get to meet you. So it's an absolute pleasure because I've never met you before, but you've got a fascinating surname. Before we start, I'm sure a question so many people ask you, Johannes, have you anything to do with the racing driver Schumacher?
Well, not by blood, but maybe by mentality.
I couldn't see that. So before we start talking about your profession, can I ask a bit about you? Where are you from? The basics.
Well, I'm German, and I spent like half of the time of my professional life in the medical industry without being a medical doctor. I was more in positions like consultant, like CEO, and well, that is why we are talking now, right?
So you started off life in Germany. You had an interest for business, not necessarily for health as such. What took you? How did you go from being a child in Germany to being in Marbella now, and health being like your focus part of your life?
Yes, well, I'm here as an entrepreneur since 10 years in Marbella, and back in 2014 my father was suffering from cancer, and I wasn't happy with the treatments they gave him. So I was searching for alternative treatments, for better treatments, and then I found about dendritic cell therapy, which I tried to find out for him, but obviously it was too late. I was talking like 10 days with the responsible doctors, 10 days before his death.
I'm sorry.
And then I found that this therapy is very helpful, but it is not available in Spain. And this is when I started to investigate how can I offer this amazing therapy to patients in Spain and to patients from abroad here in Spain, in Marbella.
It's a commendable project, and it's very sad that from great suffering, great things do happen, that things that really make us react to then stand up to do something about it. It can't be easy to do what you're doing, because I imagine you are challenging many existing therapies that are very lucrative for many big companies.
Well, that's true, but while the medicine of the 20th century was more based, when it comes to cancer, in fighting against a disease, like cutting away affected tissue, like poisoning affected tissue, like giving radiation to the tissue, we now in research are a step further to go behind the causes of the disease and to see that the cancer always has a reason. And this reason is more seen in the metabolic system, in a defect in the metabolic system and in the immune system. And it was given the Nobel Prize to Ralph Steinman in 2011 for his research on dendritic cell therapy, where we are going to repair the immune system to fight against cancer.
It sounds absolutely fascinating. The most important thing is the results that it is showing, as you said, and I'm really sorry that it was late for your dad, but what results have there been in general that make you so sure that this could have helped?
There are hundreds of clinical studies around, and they show that the efficiency of dendritic cell therapy is about 3 to 5 times higher than in traditional therapy. Of course, to change this into well-distributed therapy, that takes a long time, because the medical system is a system that is moving slowly, that is developing slowly, and this is why we are one of the very first who are offering and making available this kind of therapy to people apart from clinical studies.
Well, it really, really is fascinating. Where are you located? Where do people come to see you to have this treatment?
Well, we have our office in Mijas in Calahonda, and usually the first talks are in our office, and then we check what kind of clinic or hospital is going to proceed with this patient. That is usually the way. We are cooperating with clinics and hospitals in the Marbella area, in other areas of Spain, and in Gibraltar.
So what you're really doing is assessing for the person interested the best treatment and where would be the best place for them to then go and receive the treatment according to each person's different circumstances? Exactly.
We see, for example, when a person speaks English, it is better to have a physician that speaks English. And it is about the condition of the patient, if they need to be hospitalized or if they can get it in a clinic. And those are the reasons how to choose the clinic. And then we are organizing the therapy to be done. The therapy is taking blood from the patient, sending the blood sample to a laboratory in Germany, and then giving the vaccination 10 days later back to the patients locally here in Spain or Gibraltar. That is the way we are working.
Well, I mean, it's really something that hopefully won't need to find out personally, but certainly there's a lot to what you're talking about, and if this is something that affects you or someone you know, without a doubt, I think it's the only thing we can do is share this information, because I know from personally with my daughter, she had learning problems and they wanted all kinds of things to her, and it turned out she couldn't really see properly. There was a different way of correcting our eyesight perception, and I always put these things on an equal path. If you found something that you think really works enough to take the steps that Johannes Schumacher is taking to share this with others, that your belief is so strong in this, then, well, congratulations. I can only wish you the best of luck, and contact Johannes if you want more information.
Thank you, Nicole.
Is there anything else we should know before we finish that we haven't covered?
Well, it is maybe interesting for the people to know how it works and why it works. And that is the very important thing.
Right, I didn't know whether I really could ask you this, whether you'd be able to tell me. But if you are, then
yes.
Okay, I was gonna, for you, I was going to I'm going to stand back from it.
No, not a problem, because we all have dendritic cells in our bodies, and they are fighting against cancer, even if we are not really affected. We can, in a healthy body, have until 150,000 cancer cells without taking notice of it. The dendritic cells, they make the body clean up from the cancer. But when a cancer issue appears, that immune system is disturbed, it can't cope anymore. And what we do then, we take the blood, we multiply the dendritic cells in the laboratory, prime them with the cancerous material that they have the right information what to fight against, and then we give the dendritic cells back into the body. And that gives then an immune boost which fights against the cancer like 7 times stronger than the body could by itself. And so even in terminal situation, we had very good results. And if patients come early enough, there is a very good chance to heal the cancer, and not just in a way that we get rid of the tumor at the moment, but the chance is that we really get health back to health. And that is the most important invention that Dr. Rolf Steinmann did, and for what he got the Nobel Prize.
Well, see, I thought as he was a businessman, maybe he wouldn't know all that, and I didn't want to put you on the spot. But it does seem to make sense, as opposed to us attacking the body and killing the body, to do something, as you're saying, which is to recreate the parts that are going to help, as opposed to destroying the rest.
Exactly. The body is so wonderful. It has all the capacities to heal itself. And to us, it did the job. Like 40 years or whatsoever, our body kept healthy because of the healing capacities of the body. Why should we poison this? Why should we disturb this system? It is much better to support the healing system, the body-owned healing system, and get the body back to health that way.
It's amazing. Someone who's won a Nobel Prize for something as groundbreaking, and yet for everyone who hasn't heard it, it must be like, oh no, this can't be, because we're programmed, we've been educated, and a lot of time in people's financial interests to believe certain things. It is up to us to ask questions. It's up to people like Johannes to take the bull by the horns, as they say.
Let me round it up by an example from the motorsport.
Okay.
Because you brought it up, yes?
Yes, and I think who wouldn't know you and think of this?
Okay, so if in your car the oil lamp is burning, what are you going to do? Would you get a tape to tape it, to not seeing the lamp anymore? No, of course, you know, you need to go back to the source, which means filling up oil. But if people go to the hospital, nowadays, many times, they just get a tape to not even feel the disease anymore. They get like painkillers, they get like cut something, but we don't get the real reason for the disease. And that is what modern medicine, and I would say the 21st century medicine, can do. Like going back to the source of the disease, to put away the reasons why the body can't heal itself, and then the body does the miracle. That's what we are going to do.
New brains looking at old problems. And that's basically what it is. It's actually progressing in the medical industry and accepting those progressions, as opposed to fighting against them because it's not what you learned at school. And I think that is...
Exactly.
I know from... all professions tend to go that way. It needs people behind the profession that do then challenge the system to make these things happen. It's really fascinating to talk with you and to learn this, and I wish you lots of luck. Keep it going.
Thank you, Nicole.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Hans Schumacher. Nothing to do with the racing driver, except in personality.
It's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day.
Hello, I'm Rowan Lichfield from Laude San Pedro. Last week's sign was UNMS 2018. One more time, UNMS 2018. This week's sign, so the date sticks in your head for the United Nationalities Marbella Summit 2018. The date is 24th of April. One more time, 24th of April.
It's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new...
Free taxi 4 times a month and 25% discount on your car insurance if you're the Zero Hero.
Yeah, I'm here in Marbella, but it says here I'm in La Canada.
If you haven't mastered the lingo, don't worry. Linear Director has a free GPS geolocator service that will come and find you.
Hey, hey.
Tomorrow is Wednesday. That means at 5:30 p.m. I will be on 107.6 FM for Me Marbella, joined as always by very interesting guests of our local community. Also coming up on the 24th of April, we have our 3rd United Nationalities of Marbella Summit. Summit sounds very important. Really, it is important, but we're more summing it up. What can we do as a community to help each other? This year we're concentrating on our teens. Where do they go off season to hang out safely, and what happens to us as we get older here on the Costa del Sol if we don't have a family support? Many issues that we can resolve amongst us. Check out our website, marbellanowtv.com, for more information on our event and also on our programs. We'll be back tomorrow with another Marbella Now. In the meanwhile, hasta mañana.